address the black agenda, an agenda that deals with the needs and suffering people.
Greetings, I'm Sister Crystal Muhammad, and you're tuned into the Black Power Cipher. Today's show promises to be informative, thought-provoking, and revolutionary, so don't touch that dial. And remember, as always, all power to the people, Black Power.
Yo-ho-roo. Welcome to another segment of the Black Power Cipher. We're back in the Yo TV, coming through Yo TV. You know, I'm your host, Brother Nat. I got Conrad Chewett, with me, as usual. Today we're going to discuss what's called a Cointelpro. This was a FBI covert program that was, used in the 60s towards African people during the Black Power movement. Other people, like to say the Civil Rights movement. But we're going to, just go into what COINTELPRO is, give you, example or two, in particularly, with Martin Luther King and Fred Hampton. But first, we're going to get, a little commentary from Brother Chewett.
Well, brothers and sisters, again, the cameraman. Go ahead on top, finish talking.
Okay, well, go ahead, brother.
Brothers and sisters, again, as you know, we host the show, the Battle of the Bullock, live every Wednesday, 4:30 to 5:30. As always, us to come in the studio and substitute for our sister Crystal, and keeping the flame struggle alive as it relates to her and likes. Going on there, Tim.
Yeah, but like I said, we're gonna give you an idea, just a little brief, a little summary on what COINTELPRO program is. The counterintelligence program. That's what it is. The acronym is COINTELPRO, and this was something that the FBI, like I said, used during the Civil Rights movement, the Black Power movement in the '60s. And the director of the FBI at that time was J. Edgar Hoover, who had a long career with the FBI. He began back in the early 20th century, and one of his first jobs, if not the first job, was the attack on brother on Marcus Garvey, on Honorable Marcus Garvey. This was a brother who set out to get African people into self-sufficiency, self-determination here in the United States of America. And J. Edgar Hoover had implemented programs of covert to take this brother down. And Marcus Garvey started the Universal Negro Improvement Association, and he had a lot of members, and members that grew all around the country. And he was about African repatriation, meaning that African people turning back and going back to Africa and using the wealth of natural resources the continent produces to enrich the lives of African people, and also in the diaspora, meaning the African people across the globe. He had realized that if white folk could get rich off the resources of Africa, then so could black people. And so the government here in the United States began to view Marcus Garvey as a threat. And so therefore they sought to take this brave, courageous man down, who was one of my heroes, So J. Edgar Hoover steps in and begin to, the attack against Marcus Garvey, and he had, used people to help him do it. There was the field nigga and the house nigga, and it was a house nigga who helped J. Edgar Hoover take down Marcus Garvey. And that's just like to give you the beginning of his history with the FBI. But what we want to do is we went to the 60s, during the period of the late 60s. The COINTELPRO program, they had a like a agenda, like the 5 things that they could do, what was their aim. And right quickly, we're going to say prevent a coalition of black militant nationalist groups. Number 2, prevent the rise of a messiah who who could unify and electrify the militant nationalist movement. Martin Luther King, Stokely Carmichael, and Elijah Muhammad all aspired to this position. Number 3, prevent violence on the part of black nationalist groups. Number 4, prevent militant black nationalist groups and leaders from gaining respectability by disgrace. And number 5, prevent the long-range growth of a black militant nationalist organization, especially among youth. And that was one of the things that really concerned them, because in any particular movement, revolutionary movement among the oppressed masses of the people, the youth always have played a role in this movement, in the historical legacy of oppressed peoples achieving national liberation from national oppression. During the 60s, you know, you had Martin Luther King on one side, then you had, you know, the Black Panther Party on the other side, and you know, so the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, they were watching King and the Black Panther movement. They had all types of different little things that they would use. And so when you had Martin Luther King, when he was in Memphis, you know, in '68, and so you know, the assassination of Martin Luther King, you know, occurred April 4, 1968, at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee. And we're going to show you, you know, some photos, you know, a few photos to give you an idea. What you see, the first one is after King had been shot. You see, you know, they're pointing in the direction from what they say that came from. Now, there's another guy in the photo that's stooping down over Martin Luther King, and the guy you see there in the photo, Fern, was FBI informant, and the actual photo that you're looking at was taken by another gentleman, another brother who was an FBI informant for the FBI. His name was Ernest Withers. Okay, and that's him there that you see in the video, in the photo right there. And behind him is the you know, the hotel itself. And we have also a date photo of Ernest Withers, and he was the FBI informant. And they were in the, you know, when Kingdom were meeting and, you know, planning and, you know, going over their, you know, strategies and stuff like that for the event that was to take place in the Lorraine Motel. He was in the room with King. So everything that Kingdom were going over, what they were saying and organizing, Withers would report back to the FBI. So that meant all the different moves that King was going to be making while he was there. Originally, King was there, and he had checked into a hotel that was like, I guess, like a white hotel, a white area, whatever. And it was Withers who informed the FBI that where King was staying, which is what led to the from Kingdom switching to the original hotel, and how he ended up in the Lorraine Motel. Now the next one we're going out is Chairman Fred Hampton. But before we do, you know, any comments, Conrad, on far as like the King assassination, you know, from your perspective?
Oh no, go on the floor.
Okay. Right,
I just
cool.
want to talk about, you know, we'll just talk about, you know, the success. If you could, you know, say it in that type manner, describe it in that type manner.
All right, well, let me we can go over that. The next one we want to show you is the assassination of the Black Panther Party leader in Chicago, Illinois, Chairman Fred Hampton Sr., and that's the brother that you see in the photo right there. And this was a bold brother. I mean, this brother was, you know, in my view, this brother was ahead of his time. You know, this brother was in his late teens. You know, and so there was many things that this brother was doing in the community. He was on the ground, you know, our ground zero, you know, amongst our people, building with the people, politically educating the people, getting the people to understand the politics of their situation. We're politicizing the people, you know, in the streets, and organizing the breakfast program, and feeding the people, free health clinic and stuff like that. So once he began to develop this strong relationship with people, getting the people to understand that struggle, the liberation struggle of African people in revolutionary terms, not in this, we're going to run to the voting polls and vote, and we're going to get our freedom by vote, and we're going to do this and this and that and the other. And this brother was, very, like I said, it was just dynamic, a dynamic brother. And so the FBI, the government realized the effects that this brother was having on the community, being with the people, even the street organizations that you all may know as gangs, the influence that he had on them. So they began to realize that this brother obviously was one of the best examples of what they meant by the rise, preventing the rise of a black messiah who can electrify the people. So the last resort was to have this brother murdered, have this brother assassinated. So December 4th, 1969, they came to the brother's residence, 2337 West Monroe, and literally shot up, the house, the bedroom. And the photo that you see there is the brother laying dead in the doorway, and they entered the room, and he did, and so they literally finished him off, and with a couple of more shots, and they shot the brother and his queen, at that time, Deborah Johnson, and she was pregnant, with her son, who is now Fred Hampton Jr. of the POCC, the Prisons of Conscience Committee. And so these are the type of things that we want our people to understand, how this government works, how this thing works. And I've learned to say, that if you're not saying anything that basically make the enemy want to come after you, you must not be doing something right. So this is what we, like I said, wanted to bring to you, to give you an idea what Cointelpro was, of Cointelpro, with the FBI informants, that they were able to get aboard with them, to work with them to have those two brothers assassinated. Now, the case with Fred Hampton Sr., that is, there was a FBI informant, FBI snitch named William O'Neill, and we don't have a photo of him, but this was the brother who was the personal bodyguard of Chairman Fred Hampton Sr. And what he did was he had given the FBI, the pigs, the Chicago police, a diagram, of this brother's house. You see, and at one point, this brother had even drugged Chairman Fred. He put something in where the brother was able to be drugged. And the last photo you see right there is when the pigs were carrying out Chairman Fred on the stretcher, the gurney, or whatever you call it. You see the pigs smiling. You see, they all have smiles on their faces, and this shows you the cold, callous nature, of this government, in cahoots with the Chicago Pig Department in the late '60s. So that's what we want. Like I say, just give you an idea. But yeah, go ahead, comrade. Jump on in here, man.
I just I wanted to talk about implications of those issues we know earlier in reference to the essence of Cointelpro. Again, for those brothers and sisters in the viewing audience in our community, again, Cointelpro,